Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And bear with me while I use alternative terms so that I don't fall foul of the YouTube algorithm. But you'll understand exactly what I mean as I do them. So, there is no limit to the wokeness of California, it seems. A man going about his business is attacked. The perpetrator of the attack has a pew-pew. Turns out that the pew-pew in question was an imitation. But the man who's being attacked has no way of knowing that at first. However, it may have been an imitation pew-pew, but it was a genuine stabby-stabby. So what do the woke authorities do? This man who was going about his lawful business would expect them to punish severely the person who threatened him, his livelihood, his health, possibly even his entire life. And the authorities, well, because the man in question is Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle tells jokes that the wokey lot don't like, the wokey lot have went, nah, it's quite alright to attack him. I kid you not. I kid you not. Let's have a look at this article. It's unbelievable. So here's the article, and it is unbelievable. And I will begin to say that what it was the other night, Dave Chappelle was on stage, a man gets up out of the crowd, rushes towards him. The man had a pew-pew and a pointy thing, and it could have ended very badly. Fortunately, well, it did end badly for him. The security team gave him a very stern talking to, wagged a very much an admonishing finger, which ended up with an arm being broken and many facial bruisings, lacerations. Apparently fell downstairs several times. Who knows? But that's not the point. It's what's going to happen to him when he goes to court. Oh wait. Comedian Dave Chappelle was involved in quite a scary situation on Tuesday. During his performance at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, California, someone in the crowd rushed the stage in an attempt to tackle him. Thankfully, that was all that happened to Chappelle before the assailant was corralled by Jamie Foxx and a number of security officials on hand. It has been revealed that the man who tried to tackle Chappelle was holding a fake pew-pew that contained a pointy. Despite the suspect rushing the stage with a pointy, LA District Attorney's Office officials have announced they will not be pursuing felony charges. So a man comes at you with who knows what his intent is when he's actually coming to you. You see in his hand he has something that is capable of ending everything. You're fearful for your life. It's only the fact that other people have tackled this man that means you don't get seriously injured. And the district attorney, who hates you and hates everything you stand for, has decided that your life is unimportant and it doesn't fall under the auspices of being protected by law. Let's have a look at this. The suspect did not cause any damage besides being able to knock down Dave Chappelle. Well, that's only because the security guy got there first. But imagine he hadn't. It's the intent that is the scary thing here. But he did have a type of thing on his person. Again, thankfully, the suspect did not pull out this pointy and cause any kind of bodily harm to Chappelle or anyone else on stage. Based on the videos and evidence presented, the DA claimed, after reviewing the evidence, prosecutors determined that while criminal conduct occurred, the evidence as presented did not constitute felony conduct. I'm sorry, but it undoubtedly did. The guy turned up with the pointy. He had intent. That, at the very least, is criminal intent. That is a felony. So this is certainly confusing, considering this man had rushed the stage and had his pointy on his person. The suspect, 23-year-old Isaiah Lee, will be instead facing a misdemeanor charge. Basically, slap on the wrist, don't do it again, off you go. Quite honestly, the only reason this man is not facing such steep charges might be due to the damage he sustained allegedly by security officials who tackled him. That's not the point. If he's got them in the pursuit of a crime, that doesn't negate the crime. Dave Chappelle has been lauded for not allowing the will of the suspect to throw off his night of the memorable performance. After he was knocked down, the comedian quipped, "It was a trans man." This is regarding him coming under harsh fire from the trans community for his last 2 stand-up comedy specials on Netflix. He followed that up by bringing fellow comic Jamie Foxx back on stage. The pair shared a tender moment, as Foxx was one of the people responsible for stopping the suspect. Foxx also stated that Chappelle is a genius and we need to protect him. We would agree on that. I think Chappelle's very funny. I don't know if you watched his shows on Netflix. If you haven't watched them, he is bang on the money. And the thing is, he's so funny that people who don't have a sense of humour, people on the left, the trans, the woke, the ones who live in perpetual indignation because they've got a tolerance for humour that's so small, because they're very vulnerable people. They really are, damaged goods, these people, which is why they don't have that sense of humour. They hate him. Another reason the DA may not be pursuing any form of felony charges could be because the suspect may have some kind of mental illness. Well, undoubtedly he has, because everyone on the left who's woke has a mental illness. This is just speculation, but it could be the reason as to why it might be a bit more forgiven, regardless of this person's motives. Well, they haven't said, hold on, get him back. They haven't said, oh, well, because of mental issues, we're going to put him in a mental institution for, psychiatric observation. No, he's just going to be, oh, well, we think he's a bit of a nutter and send him on his way. Shocking. The likelihood that more charges are not being pursued could also be due to Dave Chappelle not requesting them himself. He might not care all too much, considering nothing happened that was deemed serious. Yeah, but that's this time. What's going to happen the next time? Or the time after that? Because they're going to keep trying until they get him. Dave Chappelle wrapped up the legendary run at the Hollywood Bowl on May the 2nd as part of the run of Dave Chappelle and Friends shows. He brought on fellow comics like Jimmy Carr, Jamie Foxx, Jon Stewart and Jeffrey Ross. The comic also brought on a high-profile musical talent, included D'Angelo and Busta Rhymes. I do like Busta. Chappelle also set records as being the only person to match 70,000 fans alongside the legendary Monty Python crew. It's funny, isn't it? They couldn't get that from music, but they'll get it from a comedic lot. The aims of a crazed man will never derail the success that the stand-up comic achieved while on his run at the Hollywood Bowl. And all power to his elbow. I wish him well, but I think he needs to chase up. I mean, this time it might just have been a lone nutter. We got there, that close to him with a wee pointy thing. Could have ended differently, but what will happen next time? The DA needs serious questions to be asked. Anyway, I shall finish this off, come up and roll off the video. It's pretty telling that in the wokeness that is sort of California, especially Southern California, that you can have a man attacked and the authorities will not prosecute because they don't like you. I mean, there is no justice. There is no equality in law there. Now, I love LA. We spent some time there. Venice Beach, full of weirdos, so I slotted straight in. I loved Venice. Santa Monica, fantastic. There's some areas of Los Angeles you don't go, especially with this disguise. But much of even back then when we were there, it was a weird place and there were some weird people. You do meet some proper down-to-earth people as well, but there's a lot of, seriously weird people in Southern California. But for them to actually come out and be this blatant about what they're doing, it just beggars belief. Anyway, I wish Dave Chappelle well. I hope his shows succeed. The best revenge is success. But I think he does need to beef up his security and make sure that doesn't happen again. Anyway, we'll round off here. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications for future output. Leave a like. Leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.